In the gentle heart of medieval France, where the Seine wound its way through fields of wheat and poppies and castles rose like stone islands above the mist, a child was born in 1165. They named him Philippe, son of Louis VII and Adèle de Champagne. No one knew then that this boy frail at birth would become Philippe Auguste, the king who would transform France from a patchwork of feuding lords into a kingdom worthy of its name. His childhood unfolded in a world both beautiful and fragile. Paris was still a small city of narrow streets and wood-front houses leaning toward each other like gossiping neighbors. Monks copied manuscripts by candlelight. Merchants haggled in markets scented with spices and smoke. And above this restless, growing city stood the royal court, trying to impose order on a realm that often seemed too wild to tame. Philippe grew up observing everything. While other boys learned to swing swords with reckless joy, he studied maps. He watched the behavior of nobles, how they bowed, how they lied, how they fought for influence. There was a calm intensity in him, something sharp behind his quiet gaze. His tutors would later say that Philippe did not simply learn, he absorbed like dry earth taking in rain. When he was only 15, fate pulled him forward. His father, weakened by years of illness, placed a trembling hand on his son's shoulder and declared him co-king. A year later, Philippe stood alone as the sole ruler of France. Barely old enough to shave, yet already carrying a kingdom fractured by rivalries. The great houses Brittany, Flanders, Champagne, Aquitaine held more power than many kings. And across the Channel, the Angevin Empire of England loomed like a shadow, stretching from Scotland to the Pyrenees. But Philippe was not intimidated. He moved with the quiet assurance of someone who understood his role long before he wore the crown. He explored every part of his kingdom: foggy villages, busy towns, and cliffside castles. He spoke to peasants, merchants, abbots, knights. He listened, he measured, and slowly he began to gather the threads of France into his hands. With tactical brilliance hidden behind a modest demeanor, Philippe dismantled the power of the Plantagenets. He outwitted kings more experienced than he was, sowed alliances where they least expected them, and struck when the moment was perfect. After the Battle of Bouvines in 1214, when French banners fluttered victorious over a coalition of Europe's mightiest enemies, the world understood that something had changed forever. France had found its backbone. He expanded Paris, rebuilt its walls, paved streets, encouraged scholars, and laid the foundations of the Louvre. And in the twilight of his reign, Philippe Auguste could ride along the Seine and see a France unified as never before. The land felt steadier, clearer, anchored. He had done what many kings only dreamed. He had given a fragmented land the shape of a nation.